Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Combo, episode number 56. The conversation I want to get into today, will Terence Crawford risk everything and moving up to 154 to face off against Jermell Charlo and potentially run a huge fight for the fans and also maybe for his pockets and facing off against ERROL SPENCE? Let's get into a few short clips on what guys had to say about predictions, and I'll let you know my thoughts, so stay tuned.
Why?
So Terence Crawford did an interview in England where he says that if he can't fight the winner of Spence and Ugas, because the winner will have 3 belts, he's willing to move up to 154 and fight the winner of Charlo Castaño that will have all the belts. How does Terence Crawford do at 154?
It does well. I think he beat Charlo.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Charlo's a monster.
So he's strong, but I just think the Terence Crawford has that next level skill, almost like the Mayweather fight Canelo, when he fought up at weight. He weighed in and his walking weight, that skill just makes up for it. I think that's what Terence Crawford is.
But Terence Crawford started at what, 130, 135, 135?
Yeah, 35.
140?
I think he's made a
54
run.
May be a big jump from 47.
And maybe though, Charlo's strong, maybe, but I think he has that next level skill to operate. I think he can adjust, and I think he's strong enough to hang in there. I think it's to make up for that speed and skill.
Winner at 154 of Castaño Charlo, because the winner will have 4 belts. How does Crawford do against, let's say, Charlo or Castaño?
That's an interesting fight because I think Crawford's not that tall. He's not a big body. 154.
He's tall, but he's skinny. Yeah.
I don't think he's your height. Y'all probably the same height.
How does Crawford do at 154?
I think he does very well now.
Can he beat Charlo? I don't know.
He's a fucking smart fighter, dude.
Yeah, but weight class is for a reason.
ERROL SPENCE, that's your guy. People want to see him versus Terence Crawford. Does Terence Crawford stand a chance in that one?
I definitely believe Terence Crawford stands a 0 chance against ERROL SPENCE.
So you guys was hearing fight predictions. Everybody was picking Terence Crawford. The majority, even the fans. I think even the fans in the comment section, they'll pick. I heard even before I even did this video, I was talking about another video about Terence Crawford. A lot of guys are side with Terence Crawford to actually go up to 154 and beat Jermell Charlo. I think it's more of a 50-50 fight, in my own opinion, and I do kind of give Jermell Charlo more of an edge for a couple different reasons, but I will get into that later on in the video. So at the beginning of this video, we're going to break down this video in 3 different sections. We're going to break it down in the good part about moving up to 154, the bad part, and also at the end of the clip, it was Jermell Charlo was talking about that Terence Crawford had 0 chance in beating ERROL SPENCE, which I do not agree with. I think that's a 50-50 fight straight up. I like both fighters, and I think their skill sets alone just tell you, both of them going to come in there, and they're going to come prepared. But let's go ahead and get into the good. Legacy-wise, great. It puts him in a different atmosphere as far as going to the 154 and become a 3-divisional world champion. One at 140, 147, and one potentially at 154. So he would, like I say, negotiations between him and ERROL SPENCE. He was to gain all those titles, or even just having a rematch with Jermell Charlo and actually winning again. That's even more leverage. So I think as far as leverage, ERROL SPENCE coming up, if he want to kind of continue to dominate at 147 and collect all the belts and then move up to 154, the fight between these 2 guys that we have been waiting on for years and years, and they was actually, both of them was still undefeated. Terence Crawford would be, whether he tried to go get the 4th belt and become undisputed at 154, that would be crazy. The fight at 154 to me would be even bigger than a fight at 147. To me, it would cut because Terence Crawford would be more in the driver's seat. He would have the crowd more. I think the crowd would probably more side with him. For some reason, man, you can't deny greatness, and I think that Terence Crawford is just different. Even though I think the same way about ERROL SPENCE, but like I say, legacy-wise, a lot of people has been saying that hey, he's not fought the best talent in each weight division he has campaigned in, and I think the biggest for me, I have to agree with. As far as I think it was more of his situation, but I think the hardest fight that he had was Sean Porter. So Sean Porter, he stopped Sean Porter. I think that he was probably the way he was looking, he was gonna stop him regardless, whether it was on his face or his daddy jumping in there. He was gonna stop Sean Porter. Once he had him hurt, you don't get hurt with Terence Crawford. You get hurt in there, Terence Crawford, he's gonna finish you one way or the other. He's not gonna back off. He's not gonna play no friendly. I don't really want to hurt you. you're gonna get hurt by Terence Crawford. So that was, to me, that was the biggest win of his career, and I think that for his situation, he just dealt with what he had to deal with as far as working with, Top Rank. But we're not going to get into that in this video. But let's go ahead and get into the bad real quick before we get into the last clip that I was telling you guys about. So the bad, obviously, he take a loss. If it's a close fight, he get up, rematch. I think it'll be a 2-fight deal. He lost in the first match against Jermell Charlo, and then they rematch. He lost again. So the financial part would be devastating. I think that Terence Crawford would lose more than he would gain, and taking a big risk like this. And a lot of times you have to take risks to become the best, and I think that's the reason why he's trying to make certain moves and say, hey, look, I go up to 154 and face one of the best guys and try to take his belt, his titles. So, like I said, the bad part is, is the fight between him and Errol Spence, the fight that everybody has been waiting on. Is it still the same? Is it still the same in every? Is it that same taste that it has now? It's like when you're a kid, you taste something, you may not like it. You get older, you may like it, but it might be in reverse with this. It could, those plans could really, really backfire on Terence Crawford. And that's with any fight. Anybody can lose at any given time, no matter what opponent that you're facing. If that opponent is ready for you and they have trained hard for you, I don't care if it's a low, a fighter that has never been heard of before. Look at what Kambosos did. It's a possibility that you can get stopped by anybody, or you can lose to anybody. But I think in Terence Crawford's case, I think it'll be a bigger loss financially and also career-wise. I think that a lot of people be looking at him as like, we knew you couldn't do it. We knew that you faced a lower opposition for a reason. That's a strong possibility. And like I say, the fight does not look the same. Even if we still got the fight, it does not look the same. The sport of boxing is totally different than what it used to be. Back in the day, he probably could have took a loss and been just fine and still faced off against Errol Spence and still had a big lucrative payday. But nowadays, you can't. The risk is not the same. The risk of going up to 154, taking a bad loss or even a close loss or even 2 losses, you have. He has no more. He wouldn't have any leverage at 147 anymore because he would have to drop his WBO belt to actually move up to 154. So he has no leverage against Errol Spence. That's his arch nemesis. No matter how you put it, they are arch nemesis. So that's all the bad. I can come up with more, but I want to, I don't want to keep going on with this video. So let's go ahead and get into what Jermell Charlo had to say. Saying that. Terence Crawford has 0 chance of beating Errol Spence. I think that's a 50-50 fight straight up. I do not agree. Even though I do kind of edge, in my own opinion, for a couple different reasons, I do edge Errol Spence to some degree. But I think the reason why, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I could just be thinking, but this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking that maybe he sees something in Errol Spence that he can exploit or whatever. But he may see, out of the two, he may see that Jermell Charlo is the weakest link between the two. So if he was to go up to 154 and test himself and actually prove himself right, it's a big victory. But I think the reason why I bring that clip up is because if you don't know, if you're new to the sport of boxing, or if you're a casual fan, that Derek James, he trains Errol Spence and he also trains Jermell Charlo. Both of those guys I think they're very similar, especially with their defense. They both got great, just very, very good jabs. But I think that, and both of them have really good footwork too. You can tell they work on a lot of different techniques when they train. But I think that in the case of Jermell Charlo making that statement that they work so closely together, a lot of things that you guys can't see on YouTube, when you go into certain training camps, you spar certain guys, they're not allowed to have phones. Any type of video. So I think that maybe Jermell Charlo sees something in Errol Spence that tells him he could beat Terence Crawford. I really think that. I think that he sees something that say, hey, look, he can beat him. But like I say, that on Terence Crawford's defense, he may be seeing something in the weaker link in Jermell Charlo. And then maybe Terence Crawford knows something. He can go up to 154 and he could shock the world. I think it would. I don't think it'll be an upset because I think he's the favorite in facing Jermell Charlo. So, but like I say, in the defense of either guy, I think that both of them have their points, and I wanted to put that in there because I just wanted to kind of show, what the reason why was kind of show you guys what Terence Crawford may or may not be thinking. These guys do watch each other a good bit. I'm pretty sure that Terence Crawford or his team, if he don't study tape, maybe his team say, hey, look, I think you could beat Jermell Charlo at 154. I'm really thinking that could be a real strong possibility, but who knows? I hope we get both fights. Either way it goes, I think great competition. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. That's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Combo, episode number 56. You guys let me know what you think about this topic and all the other topics that I bring up on my channel. If you want to see what I'm wearing, SouthTati.com. Follow me on all social media platforms that I'm currently on. Links will be down in the descriptions below. Just want to thank you guys like I do each and every single video. Without you guys, my channel wouldn't be growing as fast as it's growing. So thank you guys. You give me the motivation to keep pumping out great content. So thank you again. If you old to the channel, new to the channel, please try to make sure you watch the full video to get the full breakdown of the content on my channel. And also, if you like the video, please try to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, never forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on upcoming videos on my channel. With all that out of the way, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Combo.